Hey, this is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on a limb. So another gorgeous day here in Stockholm. Yeah, it's really great to be here in the summer. Not too hot, perfect weather, and sun's always up. In fact, until like 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go check out a Viking ship that remained intact but sank in the 16th century or something like that. I think 17th century. Apparently, it's one of the highlights here in Stockholm. So come go on a limb with me and we'll check out a Viking ship together. Folks, before we start, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notify button for new contents that I upload weekly. Talk. So the Viking Museum, or the Viking Ship Museum known as Vasa Museum, is actually located on the island of Sjögarden. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Swedish, but it's a separate island and you pay 150 krona, which is about $15, and get through 3 doors and you will be faced with this amazing warship, 69-meter long warship that never engaged in any war, interestingly. So the story about that to come, but yeah, it's fascinating.
And here we have a museum about the biggest failure of our country, and we decided to celebrate her. Voss is a warship that never went to war. She is a ship built to destroy and take over and conquer, and she sank after 20 minutes in the middle of Stockholm on her maiden voyage in front of everyone.
This is no doubt the biggest disappointment of Sweden as well, but nevertheless, the ship itself is really well preserved. I mean, dating back to the 17th century, no doubt a unique art treasure. About 98% of the ship is original and it's decorated with hundreds and hundreds of carved sculpture. The ship sank in Stockholm harbor in 1622, but was actually salvaged about 333 years later in 1961.
In the middle, because that is always the royal family, and that is the Vasa of course.
Yeah, you're looking at the biggest failure of Sweden, but it's an impressive warship, I have to say. Now, after visiting the warship that was built to impress the royal, but did not pull through, I'm here to see the royal palaces, which is actually very impressive and it's really large. Like any working palaces, there are exchange of the guards activities happening frequently, and of course it is of no exception here at the royal palaces of Stockholm. So the Royal Palace of Stockholm is actually one of Europe's largest and most dynamic palaces. It is actually His Majesty the King's official residence, as well as the setting for most of the monarchy's official receptions, but it's also open to public year-round to visit. So the combination of it being a royal residence, a workplace, and cultural historical monument that's open year-round to visitors makes the Royal Palace of Stockholm unique among Europe's royal residences. It's pretty open, I have to say, compared to the other palaces that I've visited. The palace is actually built in a Baroque style architecture, and it's actually formed as a Roman palace. Fascinating, the palace has more than 600 rooms divided between 11 floors, with the State Department facing the city and the smaller living room facing the inner courtyard. So it's actually beautiful, and I walked around. I don't think I actually visited all of the rooms, but the few rooms that I visited were actually really beautiful. Like this room that hosts state dinner, obviously. Look at that long dinner table. It's impressive. Sometimes I wonder for rooms like this how much it would cost to have AC, because obviously there's actually only fan running and can get pretty hot. But like I said, 600 rooms, if it's fully air conditioned, the utility bill will be pretty expensive. There's also a basement level that you can visit, which I would advise if you are running out of time, you can skip, because honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot to see down here compared to what's above, the impressive royal rooms above. That you should definitely see, but down here not much to see, I have to say. But of course, on your way out, there's actually a gift shop and you'll be greeted by the beautiful looking royal family. And if you run out of things to do in Stockholm, I mean, there is obviously shopping to do. Like any cities in Europe, there's always a main street that is close to traffic. You can just walk here and you'll be greeted by all different kinds of retail stores, including the designer stores as well. There's actually a strip filled with designer shops. So there are things to do in Stockholm. You'll never run out of things to do in Stockholm. This is really a great city to be here, especially during the summer.